All right there, family. Black Power is the General Seti. Black at y'all ass again with the real talk. Today we're going to be dealing with a very powerful video. The word Moor and the sacred connection to Naga, both being Serpentine, both being connected to the dragon, which is a very powerful image in the mythology of African people, and we're going to deal with it today. And the reason why we have to deal with these terms because they are very powerful prophecies that are connected to these terms, and you won't even know that it's up to you to fulfill the prophecy. You see, even the return of the dragon is referring to black people, with the dragon also representing the serpent, which is symbolic of the immortality of the Christ consciousness. And so when we say return of the dragon, we also talking about the return of that Christ consciousness. Return of the Jedi is also one of those symbolic mottos of prophecy of black people. Well, but as we move on, let's also check out KingSeti.com online marketplace, DV official General Seti DVD lectures, t-shirts and hoodies, African and Kemetic jewelry, holistic tonics, and remedies with much more. Check us out, KingSeti.com. Also checking out SETI University of Ancient and Modern African Wisdom and Knowledge, the complete General Seti website, generalseti.com, hundreds and hundreds of lectures and videos, behind the scenes footage, SETI debates, all world religions, ancient civilization and mythology, black power politics, highlights from over 50 cities. You need to get there immediately. SETI University, generalseti.com for the complete General Seti website. And y'all make sure that you subscribe to all my YouTube channels, General SETI YouTube page, SETI YouTube page, because y'all already know SETI Live is lit. Subscribe, hit that notification bell, and give the video a thumbs up, like it because you love it. And make sure you get on over there and support me on Patreon. Got exclusive live streams for the family, over 100 exclusive live streams. Too raw for YouTube. You got to take it a step up, and when you're ready to take that step up and you want to see the general live in the flesh, you go over there to my Patreon, General Seti, and become a patron today. Now I want y'all to be prepared now, because it's gonna be some explosive information that you just haven't heard from any other scholar. Prepare yourself to be exposed to earth-shaking information. You see what I'm saying? This is academic artillery for the African scholar, and I want you to load up, your intellectual AK-47, and you know what to do. You see what I'm saying? Now, Moor and Naga, occult, serpentine, etymology for divine black people. Now, when you're looking for that serpentine etymology, which also includes the dragon, because we're going to see that the winged serpent of ancient Egypt became the dragon of East Asia. You see what I'm saying? Now, many of these suffixes and prefixes, and sometimes they're found in the middle of a word that designate that this is a serpentine word. You see what I'm saying? And when you understand that the serpent and the dragon are only zoomorphic totems of African people, then you'll understand that it's speaking of you. Now, Ophi, O-P-H-I, and it could be flip I-P-H-O, and the O and the I can also be replaced with the A-P-H-I, Appy, okay? And then you got Ophi, O-P-H-E, and O-R, and then Ori, O-R-I, Orf, like in morph, you understand? And Ophy, O-P-H-Y, like philosophy or theosophy. You see, and I'm gonna show you these word etymologies, serpentine etymologies, as we move through, and it will become clear when you see them in certain words that they are serpentine. Now, when we're talking about the Moor, we're going to see that the OR, which you can even find in Gorgon, in Moor, is just no different than Naga, is referring to a serpentine origin. And so you see right here, this is in Austria, you see the Moor, and you see the double-headed phoenix, which is also symbolic of the dragon. You see what I'm saying? Because in Metamorphosis, the dragon can become almost anything. And you will see that the phoenix, the sphinx, the griffin is also uh, different versions of the dragon. You see different versions of the dragon. And so when you look on the shield, you see the phoenix, the double-headed phoenix, which is, also coming, as a zoomorphic form of the sun. You see what I'm saying? Just as the dragon, just as many of the serpents that you see in ancient Egypt will have the sun disk on top of the head, the uraeus. Okay, and so here again, you see many of the so-called Moorish knights with the phoenix, which is symbolic, and they said St. George slayed the dragon, but goddamn it, St. George is the dragon. And so you're going to see also rooted in Moor is morals. Okay, what I'm saying? Morals. And then one who lacks morals is a moron. You see what I'm saying? So you see even in that, morals. Just like in Ethiopia, you see ethics, the branch of knowledge that deals with moral principle. So rooted in Moor ethic, Ethiopia ethics, morals, and even a Moor, which means love and which means black. You see what I'm saying? So even in that, we are taught that black is negative and represents a lot of negative things, but we're not taught that, even a Moor is symbolic of love. Okay? Now, the serpent, the dragon, can also take many forms. It can take full human form. So one can still be the dragon and be in human form. Now, both the dragon and serpent are zoomorphic totems of the sun. The fire that's emanating from the dragon is solar energy. You see what I'm saying? It is solar energy. And in us as African people, it is called the solar plexus. Okay, you got an inner sun and an outer sun. The dragon can also morph, and you see right there, you see morph that the dragon can morph into many different forms. So metamorphosis is a characteristic of the dragon, which you also find more in that. You see what I'm saying? So the dragon can also morph into other animals such as owls and lions, etc. As you see here, you see the serpent with the lion's head. You see, and then you also see the winged serpent. And then you're going to also see the feathered winged serpent, like you see with Quetzalcoatl in South America. You also see the dragon as the phoenix, griffin, and sphinx, which I said. Now, Return of the Jedi is also Return of the Dragon. And it is also the rapture or the second coming of the black woolly-headed Christ in Revelations. So when you're talking about the return of the dragon, and once you understand the dragon is the serpent, and the serpent is symbolic of immortality, immortal Christ consciousness, then then you begin to look at these terms with a more deeper significance. So you see right here that the Pharaoh was symbolic of the king cobra, which is also the dragon. So the return of the dragon is return not only of the Christ consciousness, but our people to the throne of sovereignty. You understand? And a rulership on the planet. You see, the serpent kings of Kush. Now, return of the dragon today is identified as global warming. You see what I'm saying? And they're gonna put the spin on it, but it has already been prophesied that this is the solar baptism and detox that will purge the earth of all parasites. Okay, And so when you see Jesus on the cross, people don't understand that that's a solar cross. You understand what I'm saying? And so, it's going to be, the purging of a particular type of people at that time. And they understand that, but they refer to it as Ragnarok. They refer to it as the rapture or global warming today. So we're going to be looking for the Serpentine language that's decoded in modern vernacular. Okay. Now, of course, we're gonna deal with or, which is rooted in Moor, and you understand what I'm saying. And these is a lot. Here's a lot of other words that have a serpentine origin: organic, origin, Ouroboros, which is the serpent with his tail in his mouth. Orion, orbit. You understand what I'm saying? Because when you look at Ouroboros with that's the coiling spiral of the galaxy. So you see also orbit is in that. Born, because we're dealing with creation. When you're dealing with origin, you're dealing with creation. You're dealing with born. And orchestra, which is also rooted in what's his name? Orpheus, who was the god of music, which is also a dragon in human form. You see orb when we're dealing with the magical art. You're also dealing with Lord. You understand what I'm saying? Which is, you're dealing with he who wields power. And, you'll see many of the dragons with crowns on, Oracle, and also Gorgon, which you see Medusa was a Titan, but was a Naga. And of course they demonized her because they knew the root. And if you knew the root, you will understand why they demonized her. The dragon is the serpent. So you see the serpent that's sitting on the crown of many African kings from east to west, north to south is the return of the global African consciousness of immortality. And so when you go to ancient Egypt, you see right there the African child that is, born, into the world, again, a resurrection of this divine race, serpentine race. And you see that the serpent is what? Also encoiling the sun to understand there's many different symbols in that one symbol, showing that we are the solar race, showing that we are the serpentine race, that we are immortal. And this is the fire that emanates from us and also emanates from the dragon. Dragons are also known to be lovers of treasure, which nobody on this planet, have more treasure than African kings and queens. You understand what I'm saying? The legacy is just, phenomenal of all the great African queens and kings and queens who had obtained so much wealth. And you can go down through the years, the ancient eras, and see many great tombs that have been plundered with so much wealth. You see, and also the dragon is a lover of great wisdom. Not just any kind of wisdom. You know damn well ain't no dragon. So you got to understand this is symbolic of a people, and that the dragon is only a zoomorphic form of that people. Lover of books. And so you have to understand who were the people that even invented paper, who invented language, invented libraries. It was African people right there in the Nile Valley. And the legacy even carried on for thousands of years to even the great libraries of Timbuktu. So we see the winged serpent becomes the dragon. You see what you see in ancient Egypt. You even see the four-winged serpent, which many of came to seraphim, which is the top order of angels in Hebraic Christian mythology. You see? And so you see here again the winged serpent. So you see where the dragon comes from. Dragon as royalty with crowns. So you see many dragons. And so many kings and queens were identified as the dragon. A lot of people see it as a demon because they're going to demonize so that you won't understand the prophecy and you won't understand the true divine meaning of these symbols. You see, and so you see even in ancient Egypt, you see that these are king and queen cobras. These are not just any kind of serpent. And we're going to see that over 90% of the time when you see the serpent in ancient Egypt, it's symbolic of the goddess. You see? And so again, you see the dragon with the crown on, symbolizing royalty. This is where you get the Negus Nagas, the King of Kings. You see, so we're saying that Moor with and with the suffix of or is also of serpentine origin. You see, and so here you see the winged serpent, the winged queen cobra, because if it's stated that if you see a cobra in any medunet in ancient Egypt, unless it's specified as a man, it is to be taken as a goddess. You see, and so you see the dragon also with the sun disk at the top. Now that dragon was taken from the Qin dynasty. And you're going to see that that's where you get what you call the dragon egg or the dragon pearl. This is the egg in which hatched and the son was born. So, of course, this is all the dragon in many instances is female because, a male is not laying no eggs. So you see the Qin dynasty of China and you see Qin Shi Huang, which was, if you watch the Mummy the Third episode, you will see that he was also called the Dragon King. And so many times, and you also see him with the orb, the ORB, orb is serpentine. And you see, many of the dragon, which is really the sun. And that energy and that magic is emanating from the sun. And so when you look at the Nemesis crown of ancient Egypt, it is the hood of the king cobra. That's what it is, representing the warrior king poised to strike. This was long before Qin Shi Huang. Okay, even in Nubia, you see the twin serpents at the top of the crown, symbolic of the feminine and masculine halves of the brain. But not only that, but the feminine masculine energy in the universe. Mastering both halves, becoming Lord, becoming deity. You see, and so again, we're going to go into some of these terms which we see is rooted in the serpentine etymology along with Moor. And so that we understand the true meaning of Moor, okay? And so you see Ouroboros, and this is the oldest representation of that symbol in the world. This was taken from King Tut's sarcophagus, I think one of his shrines. And you see one at the top and one at the bottom. So you see the OR, Ouroboros, is symbolic of serpentine energy. We're talking about infinite. We're talking about eternal energy and power. And so you see Morpheus, God of dreams. You see, and that's how ironic it is when you look down at his jacket. He got on some serpentine print. Even people didn't even check that out. But now that they know, they'll look deeper. And so you see that the dragon can also enter into your dreams. And you're going to see other words that show how the dragon can move from the various worlds, in and out of different worlds. So you also see more metamorphosis. And that means being able to change from one, but you have to understand the occult meaning. Meaning to move from level to level and to advance, because we're talking about eternal energy, going and evolving and developing and moving from one stage to the next. Just as the serpent sheds its skin, it moves, it becomes reborn. And also, again, born, we see the OR, being reborn, to metamorphosize and become anew. And so here again, the serpentine dragon race of ancient Kush, metamorphosis, the winged serpent, but that is a zoomorphic form of us as a people. You see, and so even when you talk about metamorphosis, you see Osiris and you see Buddha, which is another woolly-headed Christ figure of East Asia. and you see the serpents there, and we understand we've seen Osiris represented. Whether when you look at the Pharaoh, you're looking at Osiris. And so, what is the metamorphosis? When you go through the embalming aspect of the body, and you're wrapped in the embalming wraps and bandages, which is a cocoon, and out of that cocoon will come the spirit, the ka, the resurrected or the reborn spirit of that individual in what we call the afterlife, the hereafter, or what the ancient Egyptians call a mentor. And so you see the cocoon of the butterfly where the caterpillar wraps the cocoon, and it goes through a stage of metamorphosis where it comes out as the butterfly. We see Orpheus, Greek god of music, okay? And he's somebody, and we understand that music, and you see the serpent, as it moves and sways from side to side, as it listens to the tunes of the flute. And so out of Orpheus came orchestra. You see what I'm saying? All serpentine. And so you see here, and they got this, from the Africans, and I have images of the Africans, who were playing the music long before any Hindu. You understand? And so we see them do it, and we don't know that they got it from us. And so you could go to the walls of ancient Egypt, and you see the serpent, what? Inside of the bowl. You know what I'm saying? Up as if it's dancing. You see? And so even when you go, you see the, what we call, break dancing and all this, hip hop, and you see the water wave, and you see that the water is also connected to the serpent, which is a symbol of creation. Out of the water came life. Out of the African woman, when her water breaks, come life. And so, water and life and the creation of life is always connected to water. And so both the serpent and the wave of the ocean and seas move in serpentine energy. And so you always see the Naga is also connected to the water. And so you see here Gorgon, which is a demonized, representation of the Naga. Or, in ancient Egypt, the Wajet, and many other forms of the serpentine energy, and because they disdain it, because they know what the actual prophecy details. And so, goddamn it, they're not gonna give you the an open path to what is deemed destruction, Ragnarok. They're not gonna do that. Disdain that which is holy to the righteous. Make it appear as if it's something negative. You see, and so when you see the serpents behind the head of Medusa, it's the same as the serpents behind the head of Buddha, or from the pineal gland of the Pharaoh. You also see oracle, where where you go and you receive information, but see that's going from one world, and you have to be able to see into the next world. You see what I'm saying? You have to be able to see into the next world. And so we're going to deal with that. Our people have had, a great intuition and inner spiritual energy that gives them the ability to be able to move and morph from one plane to the next. So you see, even oracle is rooted in the serpentine, and that African people are the serpent race by far. We the one invented it. We know, and not only that, our hair. When you look at the serpents of the Gorgon or Medusa or Buddha, or the Nagas also represent the coily hair of African people. Period. The coily hair of African people is represented in the serpents that you see on the Gorgons. You see, and also that these are the antenna that connect us to the cosmos. And you're going to see that the basic blueprint for a lot of antenna is coil antenna. One of the oracles of ancient Greece was Pythia. to show you there, Pythia, Python, you know. And so you see there's to prove that it is Serpentine, Oracle. And so, you know, that means, and so even there, when you go into the so-called metal natter dictionary, you see where it says serpent. When you see the serpent, it says goddess, it says priestess. When you see the serpent spitting the venom, is fire, it says fire spitting serpent or goddess. You understand? If you see the serpent connected to the flagpole, it's a goddess. So the majority, unless it's being identified as a male, is almost a given to accept it as a goddess or a priestess. And so when you see them take the Gorgon or Medusa and to vilify it is no different than they vilify black, than they vilify our hair and many other things connected to us. And so you see origin, you see origin. And many dragons and serpents are identified, just like the Ouroboros, with the creation of the cosmos. And so when you see the galaxy is moving in a coil, a spiral, and out of spiral comes spirit. You see, this is the manifestation of spirit in the coil. And once it's understood from a scientific point, you'll see that everything that is generated as far as energy on this planet and above this planet and below this planet is moving in a serpentine coil energy in a spiral. And so out of origin, you get aura, gen. You see, your aura is also emanating from what? Is emanating from your kundalini energy. You understand? Your 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, it's actually 8. Well, they say it's more chakras than even that. They say it's so many chakras. But you know, you see 8 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, it's actually 7 from the root to the crown chakra. You see what I'm saying? And so you see here that the spine is the serpent, you know, which is along the spine is the platform for the kundalini energy. You see? And so this is what, if all the chakras are open and the energy is flowing from one chakra to the next, then you have a powerful aura. If they're not connected and you got a lot of your chakras blocked, then you don't have, many motherfuckers don't even have an aura. You see what I'm saying? Or, you know, they got a dim aura, you know, and so we see here orbit. You see orbit, which is the serpentine energy. And so again, we talking about born. You see, you talking about born and you talking about the movement of the cosmos, which is used to generate energy in engines and all type of turbines, and even the tornadoes and hurricanes move in this serpentine fashion. And so again, we're dealing with orb, and many times you'll see dragons with the orb. And if you watch Lord of the Rings, you'll see the serpent eye in what you call, I think it was, I forget his name, the White Wizard. And you'll see the dragon eye peeking through the orb. You see, and many times when you talk about the orb, you talking, it could be the sun, it could also be the earth. And you'll see the serpent wrapped around the sun. Even when you look at the entrances of ancient Egyptian temples, you will see the winged sun disk, and you will see the twin serpents, you know, connected to that disk. So you will see that this is symbolic of the sun, the power of the sun. And so the orb is symbolic of the black arts, alchemy. You see, where you get chemistry. And so again, you know, we have to get back into that. Just letting you know that that is one of our arts. You see, this is one of our arts, mysticism. And so that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with mysticism, which, come from the Africans. When you talk about the ancient Egyptian mystery system, who do you find in mystery schools? Mystics. And so even in that, you're talking about portal. And so this is the dragon able to move through and out of different, spectrums of existence, different areas of existence to move. A lot of people can call it astral projection or this, that, and the third, but they can, the dragon can move from the physical to the spirit to the spiritual plane, and many other planes that's unknown to the average mind. You see what I'm saying? So you see, portal is also in serpentine and origin. So the spirit is spiral, and the serpentine spiral represents a cosmic portal to the creative force. Now, also, within portal is teleportation. And so if you go to the X-Men, you will see where what's his name? It's not, I forget his name. You know what I'm saying? But you can see he's represented as the dragon. You see him with the tail and you see his skin. So the dragon was able to move between the worlds. He was able to teleport. I'll get his name. It'll pop in my mind soon. You know what I'm saying? And so you'll see, when you're talking about origin, you're also talking about Genesis, which is the genes of Isis, and we'll see that Isis is also shown as a Naga. And when we talk about the spirit, which is spiral, that's what you see on Ramesses' war crown. You see the serpent, he coils right there at the pineal to show that that's the area which we call the portal. This is where he teleport in his mind. I don't want nobody to think that they just go up and just this, but in the meditation of the mind, you can tap into the the cosmic library and retrieve information. You see what I'm saying? That can be used on the planet for your embetterment. And so you can see that you can see even West Africa, where the serpent is also put on the pineal. This is not, and so when we talk about West African and East Africa, it's no difference. They had tapped in. They knew that Africans astral projected through time and space via the pineal gland melanin arc. You see, and so you see there to the left, you see the sun inside of the African. This is the same energy that's manifested through the dragon. When he spit fire, this is what the occult meaning of that. And so the inner sun is charged by the outer sun. So when you see to the right, you see that star is the sun hitting him on the pineal. And if all your 7 chakras is aligned and open, and your system is fully charged, then it charges in the solar plexus. That's the fire within, which give you the will, give you the determination. You understand? To bring to reality, manifestation, the cosmic information that appear within the pineal, that appear within the brain, the consciousness. This gives you the will to bring it to manifestation. So you see, the fire that emanates from the dragon is solar energy. And so also we see organic, related to or derived from living matter. We're living matter. When you look in the mirror, you have a reflection. That's a soul. If you look in the mirror and you ain't got no goddamn reflection, which is the vampire, you are not living matter. You're the living dead. And so we're organic in all our creation and existence. And so again, as I dealt with the serpentine chakra system with the spine symbolic of the kundalini, when all the 7 chakras are in alignment and are fully charged and are open, and the energy is flowing from top to bottom, bottom to top, then you are fully charged. You become the Lord. You become deity. You become God-like. And so organs that are aligned to those chakras is also in serpentine manifestation. You see here, Morgana, or which is one of the characters of the Camelot, Arthur, which is which is Horus. You see, and then you got Camelot, which is which means black. And then one of the characters of that whole series was Morgana, and she was an enchantress. Again, we dealing with the serpent priestess, as we looked in the dictionary of the Medunata. And so you see Morgana. And so now we move to the next stage of words, which is Ophi, which we dealt with OPHI, and you can flip it IPHO and YPHO, in which you get Sophia, you get Apophis, you get Ophiuchus, you get Typhon, you see what I'm, even Typhoon. So you see here Apophis. You see, which is a serpent deity of ancient Egypt. You see, then you get the griffin, so the dragon can manifest in many forms. You see Typhon of Greek mythology, the winged serpent coming out of ancient Egypt, Ophiuchus, the 13th sign, the serpent bearer. And you can look his constellation up and see that OPHI, which is also in Sophia, the Greek goddess of wisdom. You see, the Greek goddess of wisdom, the Gnostic goddess of wisdom. With the owl, and as the dragon can also be symbolized by the owl. You see, so the dragon can morph into many other forms. And so this is where you get Hagia Sophia. Hagia Sophia, this is Isis. You see, and not only did it manifest in the Hagia Sophia, it also manifests in Basilica. Because you got to understand, Basilica come out of Basilis, which is the king of the serpents. So you see, the St. Peter's Basilica is the temple of the serpent queen Isis, in which you get Chap El. El is Osiris. You see, when you go into the Canaanite culture, you see the chief god of the Canaanites was El, and you see that his whole representation is that of Osiris. You see, and so you see El is also eel, the eel that you see in the water, which is serpentine in shape and form. And so this is where you get El, you get eel, you also get Lilith. You see, and so also Lilith was serpentine. It replaced the serpent in the lost books of the Bible. Instead of just being the serpent, it showed Lilith, which is half serpent. And so when you see also seraphim, which is the same as Ophi, which is symbolic of fiery serpents, which is the highest stage of the 9 choirs of angels. They the most powerful, the powerful stage of the angels, the seraphim, which you also get Serapis, which is only Osiris, a generic malfunctioning image of Osiris. You see, so you get the fiery serpents of seraphim. You also get Osiris. And so today we dealt with the serpentine origins of Moor and the connection to Naga, to show that both are connected to the serpentine race of African people, and that the suffix or in Moor is serpentine, just like Naga is serpentine, that we find in many manifestations of African deities, kings and queens, states, ruling states of the modern and ancient world. I want to thank you for your time and energy and support. Make sure you get over to kingseti.com, generalseti.com, and my Patreon, General Seti. I want to thank you, and This is not just the end, it's the end for now. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and get a video a thumbs up. Like it because you love it. Black Power.